This is a What's New webinar. We just released a new major new release 12.1. Today I will be showing you a summary of all new features, some of the changes. For the exhaustive list of changes, you can review release log on our website later on. This webinar will last for about half an hour. You are more than welcome to raise questions, so you may either ask them in voice after I finish, or you can ask them right away in text. So we will start with general authoring features and changes. The first one is the new object gallery item that we added, called loop or magnifying glass. Let me show you how it can be used and how it looks like. The object is obviously, since this object gallery item is available in Rapid Manual, Rapid Catalog, Illustrator, and Rapid Learning as well. Now, what it does, it allows you to create an inset of a specific point that you would like to use to illustrate different purposes. As you can see here, there are a variety of settings, but most importantly, most important setting is the one that affects how the view is shown. It can be either dynamic, as we can see here, depending on the user selected view. Alternatively, we can select a fixed viewpoint, like so. Now, it is actually an object which is injected into your item tree. As you can see here, I can insert multiple magnifying glass at once. Now, obviously, this object is displayed in the end HTML publication. Let's look how this works. It is taking a while to generate this publication. Let's see. This is our magnifying glass. As I said, you can assign a fixed viewpoint or static one. It is also possible to remove this leader line and obviously change the size of the object. Having created the object, you can edit its parameters using the standard dialog window that we have, edit object parameters here. Now, you need to remember that as of this version 12.1, we only have magnifying glass or loop in a circular shape. Currently, no other shapes are provided. Now, what you can also see here is that actually this magnifying glass is also shown in the 2D preview. And what is more important is that if we generate image like here and to launch this image for editing in our 2D editor called Cortona3D Editor Pro, this magnifying glass will be recognized as a special object with its own set of properties that you can edit yourself later on. So there is a direct link between magnifying glass created from the object gallery. It is displayed in the 2D preview, but if you generate also a magnifying glass in the 2D editor, we also have a corresponding object here, which I will talk later on. This will not appear in the 3D, so it's only one-way direction. Now, next feature that I would like to show you is it's quite minor, but still quite important for some of our customers. Transparent objects in 3D can be shown as non-transparent on 2D images. There are some cases when it is important. Let me demonstrate one example here. Now let's assign this shaft as transparent. Set some transparency value here. So in 3D it is semi-transparent. Now what I can do, I can set a setting here in the general 2D image options. I would like to set all my 3D transparent objects as opaque and just assign a different kind of line style, this dashed style. You can see here on the 2D preview on the left hand side, the shaft is obviously opaque, but this line style, which is used to depict transparent or semi-transparent objects, is used. Previously, all our items that were transparent in 3D, they were also transparent in 2D preview. This is now different, so you can adjust this. This is how it would have been displayed in previous versions. So transparency in 3D and in 2D is now separate. Also, minor setting that we added is the square-shaped callouts, which you can set again using this 2D image options window here. Square-shaped callouts, like so. Now, also a minor but handy feature that we added is that it is now possible to also clone the collections, as a lot of you who are dealing with rapid manual know collections are quite handy to create animations of several objects at once without using the item tree. So what I can do, let me just add a new collection here. Now what I can do is simply clone it and then maybe add a few other parts to this collection, like so. This is a cloning of collection. Now, next feature, which is to do with end publication, not authoring feature, is that we can resize document or DPL table section and 3D view window in the HTML5 publication. What I'm talking about here are these launch preview. These proportions are now adjustable by the end user, both in Rapid Catalog and Rapid Menu. Previously, in Rapid Menu, for instance, user and author could adjust these proportions yourself. Now, also end user can do this. And finally, very minor user interface feature in the Rapid Menu and Rapid Learning, we added banded rows that allow you to distinguish your steps, sub-steps, and actions more easily using the alternating color. Colors can be adjusted here. Now we're moving on to the RapidAuthor for Teamcenter. As you know, we have two separate branches of products, RapidAuthor and RapidAuthor for Teamcenter. They're slightly different, although most functionality is the same. So in RapidAuthor for Teamcenter, we added 5 new languages. These are French, German, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. And we are talking about specifications, specification-driven languages, not user interface languages that you see here. So whenever you're creating a new project, you may select one of these languages. For some of you who are not aware, we have separate language setting that affects user interface. This is selected during installation of RapidAuthor. Then we also have a separate language that affects a specific the project specification. The specification language affects in Rapid Catalog the names of DPL columns and other user interface features, static ones in Rapid Manual. Language of specification affects, for example, the standard template, the headings of different settings, for different sections, for example. Now, in RapidAuthor for Team Center, we also added a Manage Representations tool, which allows you to delete those representations that are not used by any 3D item in your project. For instance, in this particular project, you can see we have a number of representations, and some of them are not used for any 3D item. So just to preserve file disk size, for example, what we can do, we can delete them at once. Perform a cleanup command, like so. This simply reduces the size of the project file, of the VMP file. If I attempt to delete, for instance, this representation, which, as you can see, which is used for all of its items are used. This is not possible. So it is not possible to damage project and delete 3D items if they are used. So this is pretty safe command here. Now, next topic that we will talk now is the 2D editor, Cortona3D editor. Please note that we have a separate versioning sequence here. It's version 5.1 now. Now, just like with RapidAuthor, we also added a magnifying glass object, which is, as I said, actually linked with RapidAuthor magnifying glass. If you create a 3D magnifying glass, it is also being translated and injected into your 2D image, and it has a number of unique properties that you can set. Now let's review this magnifying glass in the 2D editor. Firstly, I just delete magnifying glass from 3D, just generate a new image, and let's create a magnifying glass here in the 2D editor. A magnifier is available, is accessible from the left vertical toolbar. For example, first click, you define the source point. Second click, you define where this magnifying glass or inset should be located, like so. Having created an object, you can change the position of the source, like so. You can drag the position of the glass, adjust the size also here, like so. Now, as you can see, the magnifier is inserted into your meter file explorer. An important thing to note here is that magnifier is only displaying whatever is located above it. So if I place, for instance, a new object here, the square, below the magnifying glass, this will not be shown on magnifier. If I want to do that, I have to drag the rectangle above magnifying glass and then to refresh magnifier, like so. Now, if you select your magnifying glass in the meter file explorer, In the property inspector, you can adjust a number of settings. I will show you just a few major ones. Obviously, what you can do, you can change the size of the slider line. We can set a curl type of leader line and adjust the curvature like so. Various colors that affect this leader line, disable it entirely also. As I said, at the present time, magnifying glass is of a circular shape only. This it is possible that in future versions we will support other shapes as well. Now, there are various settings that you can find here. You can insert as many as you want. And obviously, if you, as I said, if you update the image, perform an update of your 3D geometry, and then later on to the image, magnifying glass will pick this up and update whatever is displayed there. Another small feature that we added is the polyline smoothing tool. This is pretty handy for those who are creating illustrations from scratch. Let me draw a simple polyline here, like so. And what I can do, I can smooth this polyline to create a curvature like this. And that's a shape, smooth polylines here. And two types of two methods can be used here: interpolation and approximation, like so. Now our polyline is converted to poly-Bezier line, as you can see in the Meter File Explorer. Now, next feature, we can convert ellipses and circles to arcs and back. Also quite useful. Let me actually recreate this arc as we have here. I just delete it first. I draw a circle, position it roughly here. Now what I can do now, I can open path like so. Simply remove this part of the circle like so. It is also possible to close path like so. So it is now converted back to circle. So circles and ellipses can be opened and closed in this way. Square-shaped callouts, just as with RapidAuthor, is 2D image options. We can also set square-shaped callouts here in editor. A boundary-shaped circle. A square rather. This is a new setting that we added. Now, also quite useful user interface related features. It's now possible to change the behavior of the tool after you have selected or used it once. Let's see. So whenever I'm drawing an object, for instance, a callout, once I release it, you see the callout is still being selected, meaning that I can I can create a second, third callout immediately. Sometimes it is not needed. In fact, you only need to create some object to shape only once. What you can do instead, tools options. If you uncheck this checkbox, keep tool selected. Let's again create a new callout. Once I release it, as you can see, immediately the tool is being deselected and I go back to the pick tool. This is quite useful feature. And in fact, this is how it was implemented in our older versions of Cortona3D Editor Pro. Since then, we changed the logic, but now we have two modes available to the user using this option. Now, the next area that I will discuss right now is the changes in RapidAuthor connector for TeamCenter. Our integration is Siemens TeamCenter. And in fact, the major functionality that we added, apart from magnifying glass, as you can see, is that we can now edit RapidAuthor projects directly from Active Workspace. As some of you know, in one of the previous versions, we added capability to view HTML5 and PDF publications directly on the Active Workspace. Now it is possible to edit projects. Let's see. This is Active Workspace, the latest version. A few projects here. So this is the item level. Here on the left, you don't go to the revision level, you only highlight it like so. Highlight it here. And on the right hand side, what we need to select is the open in RapidAuthor. What will happen? The corresponding tool will launch, in this case, Rapid Manual. In case you are launching the session for the first time, you will be prompted to enter your authorization credentials, TeamCenter authorization credentials. Like so. All the standard features like export to CMS, meaning save to TeamCenter, publish and save project all here. It's all the standard workflow here. There is no capability to import geometry from Active Workspace or to update. It is only to edit the project which has been already created. As you know, as I said, we added a feature that allows you to view HTML5 and PDF in Active Workspace in one of the previous versions. Let me show you how you can do that. You go to the revision level of your Cortona3D item. And here you go not to 3D tab, but to attachments. Here you locate the RapidAuthor build and you open it. This is where your publication is. Improvements in RapidAuthor for TeamCenter and Rapid JT component for those who use JT formats. And in terms of Rapid Developer for TeamCenter, we added a new functionality that allows to specify more than one metadata for the purposes of DPL column sorting in user interface of a Rapid Catalog. And secondly, it is also possible to apply XSL transformations to text specification components. This concludes the summary of major and not so major features in this release. As you know, this is not a major release, it's a minor one. A major releases normally during summertime. You can find more information of all the changes on our website, Cortona3D.com, section called Support Release Notes.